That's really what I want women to know. I think it's important because sometimes we can get a little disillusioned or beaten down a little bit by life. I just want to be like, fuck yeah, I can do this.
Not happy, Jen!
Wax on, wax off.
Cigarettes.
Excellent.
Hello and welcome to Midlifers. We are your hosts, Fons
And Nez.
and this is your weekly podcast where it's not self-help but more help yourself to a smorgasbord of nostalgia, laughter and a deep dive into the past.
And guess what, Midlifers? This is a very special bonus episode we've brought to you because we had a reach out from one of our TikTokers who is a wonderful self-published author. Her name's Tina Coleman. And we were originally going to have her on for a special Midlifer segment. But as the conversation kept going, we're like, no, this needs to be a whole episode in itself.
Yep.
It's all about her new book, which is called 50 Fabulous and Fckable, and just about finding the great joy in past 50.
And it's something to look forward to.
Yes. This is our first bonus episode that we've ever had on the podcast, so I thought we'd give it a go. And
If you have any feedback for us, jump in our comments, our DMs, and we look forward to it.
yeah, so away we go. So, Midlifers, today we've got a special treat for our Midlifer Moments segment. We have the wonderful Tina Coleman, who's joining us all the way from Mexico.
Welcome, Tina.
Thank you for coming on our show. As soon as I heard the title of this book that you have coming out, I thought, yes, I would love to have you on the show. So the title of your book is 50 Fabulous and Fckable. Please tell us about your book and how you got into it and also the journey that you had publishing it.
Oh my God. That has been the journey, let me tell you. It's been an act of love. The book, actually, I really believe was divinely inspired because I was absolutely terrified of the thought of turning 50. I was like, oh my God, what happens when you turn 50? I was about 46 or 47. I was like, I had people around me that were older than me and younger than me. Like, I just turned 50, like, oh, this hurts and that hurts. And oh my gosh, I'm just really not 50. I was like, I feel pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty healthy, but I'm like, what happens when you turn 50, you know? I was absolutely terrified. So I decided I wanted to be empowered and inspired by it. So instead of letting my fears rule me, I got this idea for the book. It completely came to me. The title of the book came to me. I did not sit around and think about it. And when it came to me, I was like, oh my gosh, can I say that? Are you allowed to say that? I don't know. So I want to empower and inspire other women turning 50. Be like, oh, yes, I can do this. Like, this is the way it gets good. 50 is not the end. It's the start, and it's when the life really begins, you know? And we've been so programmed, like, oh, 50 is over the hill, and you'll watch stuff. And, oh my God, if you have gray hair, you're not sexy. I'm just like, that is such bullshit. That is so not true. So I'm here to like break all those stereotypes and create a freaking movement that's like taking back our power, standing up for who we are, and speaking our mind. Because so often, as women, we are told, to play nice, share, take less than what we deserve, not saying that for ourselves. Whereas boys and men get a different programming than we do.
Yeah.
But, turning 50, it's like, I have time for it. I really still care. I mean, I still love people. I love being generous. I love being a kind person. But I'm just so not into taking people's bullshit anymore.
It's so interesting because I think it's actually sort of since we started doing this podcast and talking about it and having these midlifer moments that exactly what you said, we often have our voices reduced or even like I'd second guess myself without even knowing, and it's all these sort of things inbuilt subconsciously you don't even realise. And I'd always listen to my husband's word rather than trusting my own intuition. I'm like, what the hell's that all about, And getting also at this age, it is a type of thing of, thinking, I've got kids and my kids are sort of getting older and I'm sort of finishing giving my body and that to them and getting to this age of thinking, well, okay, if I am halfway there, middle age, well, what's left? You've got to, we've only got one shot at this, so might as well make the most out of it.
Exactly. And I'm a middle child, and I was the invincible child. I was a people pleaser, always trying to do the right thing, be the perfect kid, get freaking grades, do all that. And I'm like, I'm just so fucking dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was the turning point for you? Was there something that happened that you thought, no, I'm going to take this path differently?
Well, when I decided to move to how like my friends and family thought I was like losing my mind. I will tell you that. And I knew that I wanted to live in actually. Like my first international trip was when I was 45. My first time on an airplane was when I was 30.
Mhm.
So this is not something I grew up with. It's not something I was comfortable with. It's not something that I knew. My first international trip was to Barcelona and to Italy. And I just completely fell in love with other cultures and traveling. And I knew I wanted to go international, but I thought it was going to be like, Thailand or Vietnam or Asia because I love the Asian culture. But I'd been coming down to Mexico for dental work. And every time I came down, I didn't want to leave. So when everything kind of went to hell in 2020, we had the riots in the States and COVID and everything, I was kind of like, I'm kind of done.
Yeah.
I want to be happy and have a life that I really love. Even if it doesn't look like other people's lives, even if it is a little scary, even if other people don't approve of what I'm doing, I'm just like, I'm done. I'm just so done. And so it was a big step for me to do that. And now, like, I'm pretty comfortable with being uncomfortable traveling. And, it's not as scary as people make it to me.
Now, with your book, is it like a self-help type of thing or a sort of reflection type book, or what does it entail?
Well, I would consider it self-help, and it is actually broken up into 3 different sections. So I didn't really want it to be about me. I wanted it to inspire women, to travel and live their best life. That's really the whole motto of the book. So beginning of the book is really just like, you're amazing, you're 50, yay! And I do have a chapter on travel and also on financial freedom. And then the midsection is about pre-planning and preparing, like wills, estates, life insurance and pre-planning. Because during COVID, after my massage career ended, I actually became a life insurance agent and a funeral salesperson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. My career was ended by a car accident. So yeah. So I put those chapters in there because if you're 50 and you don't have those things in place, but yet you need, it's not something anyone really wants to talk about. But I do try to make it fun and light and informative. Obviously it's up to the reader to put those things in place and to take action. But it kind of gives you a little nudge to be like, oh, yeah, we do need to have these conversations. We do need to actually look at this. We do need to talk about this. And then I have a lot of self-care in the book because I was a massage therapist. So the ending of the book is more like self-care, why movement is so important, and things like that. Because I really do think that because you are in midlife, and I had this chapter menopause first. And, you have to take better care of yourself. And that's really what I think menopause is all about, is like really taking that time to take care of yourself. Because if you're having hot flashes and not sleeping, you need to freaking take a nap someday.
Yes. Oh, that's so true. Because I think also part of, I don't know if it's being a woman or the modern life, it's always just to keep pushing through. And our bodies are like physiologically changing, biologically changing. So to actually acknowledge that and think, okay, it is okay to actually take a step back and look after myself and how important that is.
Exactly. Because as women, we do just go and take care of everybody else and get everything done. And you're both mothers, so you're always putting your children before yourself. But now at this stage, your kids are getting older. They're going, maybe getting ready to go to college, things like that. And with going into menopause, it's your body's way of saying, okay, the factory's closing. We're not making any more babies. And so that frees up your brain energy to go into all these things, to maybe their podcast, right? But they have a pay. So they do the things that we've been putting off, or things that people told us we can't do. When you turn 50, it's like, oh, you're 50, oh, you really can't do that. And there's so many people that really just started at this age. Vera Wang, I think, was in her 40s when she started, her design company. And she's like so super amazing. Martha Stewart, I believe, was 50. Julia Child did like the cooking until she was 49. So it really is like the second half.
Yeah.
Do the things that scare you. Do the things that you're afraid of. Do the things you've been putting off.
It's so good to be part of that narrative now and for the next generation to show them we're not invisible.
Yeah.
Or we're not witches like they show in the fairy tales.
And I think because we are the Gen X generation, that things are looking different for us than our mother.
Yep.
My mother passed first suddenly at the age of 58. And she acted brutal. We're Gen Xers, we were the latchkey kids. We're the ones who had to take care of ourselves. We're the ones that have gone through all these changes, technology, and technology, like super crazy things that we were like, whoa, this is objective. Don't make it crazier. Like there are flying cars and they're creating robots now for the house and things like that. Things that we saw in the Jetsons. But because of that, I think it also makes us more resilient. And we're not afraid to talk about things like other generations were. My mother's generation, you didn't talk about menopause, you didn't talk about perimenopause. You just kind of stuff that you also didn't talk about when you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Everything has kind of been like swept under the rug. And now we're the generation. It's like, no, this is happening. We want to be heard. Don't these things. This is important. We need more scientific research on women's health and women's issues.
But even I've just realized, or a lot of people just realize as well, like a lot of the diets and the weight loss programs are all studied on men's bodies, which are completely different. And you'd think, why wouldn't anyone have thought about this before?
Exactly. Well, women have been not as significant. Like we haven't had the power of menopause. I also do talk about in my book, Ayurvedic medicine and traditional Chinese medicine, because I actually lost 90 pounds in perimenopause.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, using Ayurvedic medicine.
Wow.
And that's all natural. I learned about it when I was in yoga teacher training, and I just started changing things and I had success. And I worked with an Ayurvedic practitioner, and it just completely changed my life. So I want women to know there's other things out there that are more natural, that have been around for like 5,000 years.
Yes.
It's not another diet, it's a lifestyle choice. And by just making simple changes that put you more in tune with nature and your body's own rhythm, and actually giving yourself some time and space to eat, instead of like in America, I don't know if this is true in Australia or not, but we have like a lot of fast food places, right? So it's really common, like if you're driving, you run through, grab some In-N-Out or McDonald's or Taco Bell, and then they're like eating in the car and you're driving.
Yeah, it's always on the go. Even at home, I'll be picking my kids' crusts off their bread. I'm like, oh yeah, that'll do while I'm going around the house.
Yeah.
Give yourself the time and space to eat. We'll make it food stuff.
In regards to self-care, what are the top 3 things that women approaching 50 should be doing to take care of ourselves and get ready to be fuckable?
Yes. Fuckable whether or not we do these things. Okay, let's face it, we are. But I really stress the importance of stretching. Like I would love for women to get massages every week. Like an hour and a half massage every week. I would love for that to happen.
I would love for that.
Yes, that would be awesome. Most women focus on getting their hair done and their nails done. They think that's self-care, and it's not. It makes you feel better. This is true. However, I was a massage therapist for 20 years, and I would have women come to me and like they couldn't move their neck. I'm like, well, how long has this been going on for? Oh, about 2 weeks. It's like, you're just now coming in. Like, seriously? Whereas men, they will come in, oh, I had a really hard game of basketball today, so I'm going to go get a massage. Very different. So stretching is super important, and I do talk about that in my book. There's all different types of yoga, and especially if you're sedentary and you haven't been active, like there's yin yoga and restorative yoga. I actually got into yoga back in 1990, so it's been a while. And when I realized that, Shavasana, which is laying on the ground, that's a movement, I was like, oh yeah, sign me up. Like that's amazing. Sign me up. That's awesome. But just putting your legs up the wall so you actually look like an L. Doing that, if you do it at 3 p.m., that actually brings the blood flow and energy back to the center of the body. So it re-energizes you. And if you do that before bed, it gets you ready for bed. And that can actually really help. Yeah. And there's different yoga poses that are really good for menopause also that can actually help with cooling the body down. So that's why I really talk about yoga. Because there's all different types of yoga. A lot of people think of, the hot, sweaty yoga or, vinyasa, which can be really fast. Yeah, I like slow. I used to be into power yoga in my 20s. And then in my 40s, I was into Iyengar, which is more with props and things like that. And I used to make fun of that in my 20s. I'm like, oh, if you're doing it with a chair and straps, that's not yoga. Yeah, in my 40s, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Yeah. So it's funny how our attitudes change about things, But so I do talk about that. Another thing, like if you can't afford a massage, get a tennis ball, get 2 tennis balls. Like it is amazing. Okay. And these are the things I used to tell my clients that would pay me $150 an hour to work on them. Seriously. Yeah. If you take 2 tennis balls, put them in a long sock and tie it off, and then you can actually, you can either go up against the wall or you can lay on it and put it right in between your shoulder blades.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then if you put it right underneath the base of your
Neck.
skull,
Yep.
it actually helps to reset your whole your rhythm. It's a still point inducer. That is from cranial sacral training. Yeah.
And when you say in between your back, like the shoulder blades, is that vertically or
Yeah,
horizontally?
one on each side. One on
Okay,
each
one
side
each
of
side.
the spinal cord. Mhm.
And
And
lie on it.
you can put and just lay on them. And you'll feel those knots and you'll feel that like big kind of
Mm.
pain
Mm-hmm.
because you can use that on your shoulders, you can use it on the spine, you can use it in the glutes. The
Mm.
tennis balls are magical and it is the cheapest form of therapy.
Cool. Well, I'm
So
off to
yeah.
Kmart soon to buy some tennis
I
balls.
know,
Yes.
right? Tennis balls are amazing. You can also take one and rub it, roll it underneath your foot.
Mhm.
That actually helps to hit all the different acupressure points. It also helps with sinus issues, like if you have allergies. Mhm,
Oh,
mhm,
there
mhm.
you go.
So yeah, so stretching is super important. Because we tend to not be as active as we get older, and we tend to be more sedentary. We're in front of the computers. We're sitting a lot during the day. So having that movement and that stretching is super important. Even stretching in bed works too. Like that is totally okay. So you just kind of get the blood flowing. So
Yeah.
stretching is like my number one thing that I would recommend for self care. The other thing is journaling and meditation. Like, if you're not journaling and doing meditation, like, it makes a difference because as women, okay, they have proven that we have like 70,000 thoughts going on in our heads during the day, right? Like 70,000, and a lot of them are the same ones.
Okay.
So if you just do, I know it's crazy, and they're not always the good ones that are just rolling around in the head. They're usually the self-critical negative ones that just keep going over and over and over and over. So doing a stream of consciousness writing, which Julia Cameron talks about this in her book, The Artist's Way. Like I read that a million years ago. But just like get a notebook, make it pretty if you like. And I like different colored pens. I've got like all the different colored pens. I got pink and purple and green, and you make it fun. It doesn't have to be freaking boring. But just give yourself 5 minutes, like either in the morning or right before you go to bed. So it's like a brain dump. And
Yeah.
just don't censor it. Don't try and plan it. Just let it come out. And that kind of like empties out your mind. So you're not carrying around all that extra baggage because
Hmm.
as women, we do tend to take on the thoughts and emotions and
Those around us,
tasks of other
yes.
people, you
Mhm.
know? So that's really beneficial. And then there's a million different kinds of meditation. I will tell you that. So finding something that works for you. It can be as simple as just sitting for a few minutes, just breathing.
Mm.
There's a lot of different apps out there now. I really love Insight Timer. It has meditations on it from 2 minutes up to 20 minutes.
Okay.
So you can kind of pick and choose. You can have the music, you can have the talking, you can do it like I like to do it like when I'm in bed in the morning. That's when I like to do like a little meditation because it takes you out of the REM sleep into your day. It's
Mm.
called the reverie state of mind. And what that is you're still connected to the inner world. So you're not trying to get back into it. You're already there. So if you do your meditation before you even get out of bed in the morning, you're actually helping yourself to start your day off in a really positive way, and you're kind of bridging that gap between being asleep and being awake. And a little extra bonus, like I love Insight Timer because it has yoga nidra. Yoga nidra is Nidra. It's called
Mhm.
the yogic sleep. I like to do these during the middle of the day. You can also do it as you're heading into sleep, but it's laying down with a pillow under your knee and a cover, and they're about 10 to 20 minutes. It actually resets and recharges your entire body because it's a guided meditation where you're directing attention to different parts of your body. So you're actually clearing energy and re-energizing them. It has been scientifically proven to give you anywhere between 6 to 8 hours of rest in 20 minutes.
Yep.
It's also really good to reset the nervous system, and it's good for PTSD. They've actually used it with war veterans to actually help reduce their anxiety.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Cool.
it's really powerful, and it gives you the perfect excuse to lay down during the middle of the day.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm all about naps and taking care of yourself and making it a little bit slower and easier, because we need that. We need that extra time to recharge and reboost and, take care of ourselves. We really do because we're just go, 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 go all the time. And then like you can't do that anymore. You got to take some time out for you
Yeah.
because we tend to want to operate from a space of do, 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 go, 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 give, give, give. But when your glass is empty, you have nothing left to give. So if you're filling up your glass yourself, you have more to give. When you're taking care of yourself, you have more to give. It's not selfish. It's not neglecting others. You're actually going to have more to give. You're going to be in a better headspace. You're going to be able to do the things that you want to do during the day more efficiently and effectively because you're recharged.
That's
It's
so
really
true.
different, huh? I know.
Brilliant.
I'm giving you permission to take naps, okay? I'm
Okay, thank
totally
you.
giving you permission. You're welcome.
Now, for anyone that wants to find this book, how do we find it? Where do we get it from?
Okay. It is going to be on Amazon soon. I'm going to be doing the pre-sale on Amazon very soon. Currently, you can find it through my hub. I have a hub. I'm not a real techie person, but it's beacons.ai/transform be courageous. Or you can find it through my links on TikTok and Instagram, which is transform.be.courageous, transform be courageous.
Mhm.
Those will all take you to my links.
Awesome. And
Yeah,
we'll
so
actually include them in the show notes too. So for our listeners that
perfect.
want to
Yeah.
go. Yep. And when does it actually so this is the pre-release, so when does it actually come out?
It'll be out before December 30th. I've been
Okay.
changing the date around a little bit, and I really wanted to have it out the end of this month, but I'm like, oh, maybe I need a little more extra time. But I'm learning because I am self-publishing, so I am learning as I go.
Yeah.
My desire and my goal for my book is that it will have longevity, that it will really resonate with women, and that it will be something that women, even 10 years from now, can look to as a resource. So just because I think it's a fun book. It's not meant to be super serious. I'm not going to win a Nobel Prize with it. Like, we're not looking for any of that stuff. We're looking to have a good time with it. We're looking to have some laughs. We're looking to be inspired. The main thing is I want women to know that if I can do this, you can do it. Like, if I can travel and be a complete neurotic mess when I travel, you can do it. If I
Yeah.
can go to other countries and not speak the freaking language and do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
I'm not special or unique. If I can do all these things, you can too. If I can lose 90 pounds in perimenopause, you can do it. It's
Fantastic.
like I want to normalize these things
Yeah.
and know that average everyday women can have goals and achieve them and move forward and live their dreams. Like, there's
Yeah.
always hope because I have been through hell and back in my life many times.
Mhm.
But coming out on the other side and being stronger and more resilient and being like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
That's really what I want women to know. I think it's important because sometimes we can get a little disillusioned or beaten down a little bit by life, and then I just want to be like, fuck yeah, I can do this. And
Being
so,
fearless is it's such a hard thing to do, and to break out of your comfort zone. It can be really difficult if you're not used to doing that.
Mm.
So how would you, if someone is on the cusp of wanting to break out of their comfort zone, how would you encourage them to do so? Or what can they do to do so?
one of the best things you can do is listen to your intuition. Listen to that little voice inside of you because it's usually a whisper. The negative and the ego is much louder than your intuition. Your ego is telling you, oh, I can't do that. Oh, you can't, like, that's not going to work. And that's crazy. And oh, you need to stay in that job and you need to keep doing those things. That voice is really loud. The softer voice is like, oh, you know what? You always want to go to Bali. Why don't you go to Bali for your birthday? That's the softer, sweeter voice we need to tune into a little bit more and give that voice attention because when you do, that's when the miracles are going to start happening and
Mhm.
trusting that inner guidance. Because as women, we are so intuitive. And then people
Yep.
call us crazy, but it's like, no, we were actually right. Well, what we thought and what we were going to do was the right thing, but somebody talked us out of it, or we let ourselves talk us out of it. But when you
Mhm.
tune into that soft inner voice that is usually coming from your heart, not your head, that's when the magic really happens. And just do it a little bit at a time. You don't have to go and jump off the cliff, today, but
Mhm.
just do it one step at a time. And the more you start trusting your intuition, the stronger it's going to get. And you can even keep like a little notebook or put something on your phone or your calendar, be like, oh yeah, I decided to do this today instead of what I was going to do,
Mhm.
and it turned out right. You
Yeah.
know, so sometimes it's like you're driving home, you're like, oh, I need to go this way instead, even though it's not my normal
Yeah.
route,
Yeah.
and then you miss like a huge traffic jam.
Mhm.
You know, those little things
Yeah.
that help build. Yeah, those are the things we need to tune into. And as women, we have been proven to have way more intuition than men. So let's start using it.
I love, and I love, just as I said, just little by little. Don't have to go the whole hog at the start. Little by little, and yeah,
Exactly.
fantastic.
No, everyone thought I was crazy for moving to Mexico. And I was originally like trying the long story, but like what ended up happening with me renting out my house was very different than what I thought it was going to look like. Very different.
Mhm.
So sometimes things will change and evolve, and it's better than what you thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I've got another question about your book. Who should buy a book? I mean, it's obvious, it's aimed at females and, midlife, but, is it a specific or woman that should buy it?
Anyone that's scared of turning 50 should buy it. That's really my answer. And typically that's going to be women in their early 40s, to be honest. But I have been all over the world and shared the name of my book with people. Everybody has wanted to read it. From women in their 20s, men, like everyone's like, oh my gosh, I want to read that book.
Yeah.
So I think anyone can really enjoy it because the stories are fun. It's a fun book. And I think anyone can really gain insight from it, even from the chapters on food planning that I have and self care and movement. Like it is meant to help everybody.
It sounds like it would also be a great gift to give to someone, even to your daughters. Like, be the woman that you are. Not yet.
Yeah.
But when they're older, like in their 20s, don't feel held back.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's part of why I want to have it out before Christmas is so that people can give it as gifts because there are some women that need this book but aren't going to buy it for themselves because of my title. I hate to say that, but it's true. And I know that. However, I've had people be like, oh man, my mom really needs that book. When's it going to be out? So then it's a nice Christmas gift. And let's face it, we've all had a hard year. So
Mhm.
everyone needs like a good laugh and to entertainment and to like reconnect with themselves.
I
So I'm
reckon even a Valentine's Day gift to yourself.
Exactly. Yes.
Good.
I'm launching it now. So we have Christmas, we have the New Year when everyone gets into self-help and making those resolutions.
Mhm.
And then we have Valentine's Day and then Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the gift that keeps on giving.
It really is.
Big.
Yeah. So
Tina,
I'm excited.
I just want to thank you so much for sharing everything with us. It's been a great chat, and we'll, as I said to our listeners, we're going to pop all the links in our show notes. And thank you, and I wish you all the success in your second act.
Honey, thank you so much. It's been such a joy to be with both of you today, and I really, really appreciate it.
Thanks, Tina.
Thanks,
You're
Tina. That was
welcome, love.
amazing. I tell you something, I feel so motivated and inspired. And Tina has just been a breath of fresh air.
I know. And we needed a breath of fresh air. It's a bit stale in here.
But you can find Tina's books on Amazon by the end of the year and follow her on TikTok.
And we hope you've enjoyed this bonus episode. And if you have any feedback, send us some DMs, speak pipe us.
Like, subscribe and follow, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.